If you're like me, you struggle with the 4-bar loop for a long time. Today, I'm going to give you information, actually 3 secrets going to help you break out of that loop forever. And make sure you stick around for the third one. I think it's going to be something really helpful for you. All right, so first we're talking about adding melodies, taking melodies away. Let's listen to one of my songs, see what we can get out of it. I'm going to start off with the intro. Starting off with a simple melody. All right, we come to the verse. So we start to get our first add of a melody. It's the piano, the ding, 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 ding. And as you can also hear, we go back to the first verse or the intro. So we got that same piano melody. This is another key. So in the intro, the melody of the keyboard is actually pitched up, so it's an octave higher than where it is pretty much in the rest of the song. So that adds variation and helps you break out of that 4-bar loop just by pitching things up and down in your arrangement. But when we bring in the bass in the verse, we're actually adding in a second melody on top of the piano. Add in that first melody whether it's the bass, whether it's some keys, whether it's a horn, which we're going to see next. Just add something. So let's go to the next part here. I guess it would be like a pre-chorus. So as you can hear there, we added in another melody. You know, just keep adding, just keep layering, keep listening to melodies. You want to listen for counter melodies. You want to add stuff, try stuff. That's all I did here. So the next key though is we're actually going to take something away, but a lot of times people will tell you in your arrangement, you just want to build up a big arrangement, then you want to start breaking stuff down. What I found for myself helps me break out of the 4-bar loop is actually to take a little bit away and then add something different. So you'll see in this next section, we're getting a nice contrast. We're building on the track. We're breaking out of the 4-bar loop by taking away the horn part that we just had, and we're adding in a different sound. So let's hear what that sounds like. So as you can hear, that really changes up the track. I didn't have to think too far outside of what I already had. I just took out that main melody I created in one section of the song and I added something new. So now I have 2 different sections to play with that pretty much breaks down that first idea, which is take something away, add something. So next I want to talk to you about adding underlying elements to add cohesiveness and to help break you out of the 4-bar loop, because it's going to give you another element that you can use to add variation to your song without doing a whole bunch of extra stuff. So let's listen to this part of the song real quick. This is going back to the verse. So you hear that little vocal element? Yeah. Yeah. All right, so that's the melody there. Now listen to how I added a little bit more inside of that vocal element so that we could get some consistency, but also continue to develop on the song. This is the last melody. So now it's just add a little bit more there. So you have something from that original verse, an element, but this time you have more rhythm to it. It's there, so it gives that consistency, but it also adds to the variety and, you know, varying up the beat a little bit. So that's the second tip, you know, add some kind of underlying element. I just did another song where I added in a little string part to the song. I just took the chords from the song and basically had it play like a staccato or like, you know, stabs, and it added a rhythmic element to it so I could keep that part of the song going even as I changed out melodies, and it added consistency to the song. So try that next time. It's not only going to help you break out of the 4-bar loop, but it's going to help you add consistency across your different parts as you're changing out melodies. Third, lastly, but not least, is this idea of thinking in terms of energy. So let's go back to the beginning of my song intro. So as you can hear, that part of the song is really low energy. There's not a lot going on. It's just kind of introducing you to the song, getting the groove going. So now if I want to break out the 4-bar loop, I need to be thinking in terms of energy. Like, how do I want to change the energy? How do I want to change the vibe of this song? Or how can I change the energy and the vibe of this song to get something more? So let's listen to another part and see what we get here. So as I added that melody, that's really, it has a lot more energy than the initial part of the song, the intro of the song and the verse. So the next thing I'm thinking as I take that melody away and as I look to add something else, like how can I change up the energy a little bit? Like I already got something that's grooving and popping and has, energy to it. How can I add something that takes that energy away without making it sound empty or boring? So that's what we got to this. So that mellows it out, it adds a variety and it changes the energy of it. So if you think in terms of energy, some songs it might be like, okay, I got this part that's really poppy and vibey. Let me mellow it out. Let me smooth it out. So I might start playing chords that are really sustained or notes that are really sustained to add a different vibe to it. So you want that contrast. Look for contrast in your music when you're trying to break out the 4-bar loop. All right, everyone, if you enjoyed the video today, please remember to like and subscribe. Check out the link in our bio. We'd love to help you make better music. Till next time, peace.